and welcome to another episode of Schiffbauer Over Rocks. Today, I have owner and CEO of Perfection Bridal, Leah Barnes. Now, it's really interesting, your business, Leah. It's kind of really matured and grown over time, where now it's like your one-stop shop for all your wedding needs to come true, essentially.
Exactly.
Before we get into what the business is now, tell me how you even got started in the wedding business.
It's a great question. So I got started back when I was in school. I had one friend of mine.
Shout out YCP.
Yeah.
I'm actually also an alumni.
Well, it's funny enough, I actually started at Temple University.
Really? Okay.
I did. I was there for 3 years and then a little over 3 years. And then I actually met my now husband and thought best to come home. And then YCP became my home and now my alumni. So,
Okay.
but anyway, so I was in college while I was at Temple, and I was we were all in the same boat. We were all in the same sinking boat, right? Not a lot of money. So I started doing weddings in school for friends.
College kid with no money.
Yeah. I started out pro bono. I had the first wedding I ever did. I always say was literally the worst wedding I've ever done.
Hey.
Yeah, it was. I don't even want to go into specifics because I feel like that person will know who I am. But not on the couple. They're an amazing couple. But your first event will always be the hardest, and that's how that was. But I didn't let that deter me. I knew that it's something that I was really interested in. So then at that point, I started blogging and I started doing research about the industry and what was really a part of it. I started doing some bartending, started working some catering jobs, kind of like getting the back end sort of thing. Continued doing the weddings here and there, helping people for like little to nothing just to try to get experience. And then when I came back to YCP, I needed a full-time job while I was going to school full-time. I wouldn't let my now husband pay for everything. So I started working for a nonprofit here in New York called Life Path Christian Ministries.
Okay, I'm familiar with them.
Yep. Awesome organization. And I started doing their volunteer coordination, and that eventually moved into like event coordination as well. And I help them with just public speaking and doing like one of the big events was golf tournament. And I don't even like golf, Paul.
I'm
hate
atrocious.
It. Yeah. I hate golf, but I planned a pretty damn good a tournament. So, but then I moved past there. I got married. I graduated from school all within a 1 week span. And then
That's a lot of emotion.
Oh, 100%. And then I moved on from Life
It
Path.
made me overwhelmed hearing that statement.
Yeah, I know. And I planned my wedding alone. I was like, oh, I'm a wedding planner. I could do it
You
myself.
probably had a blast doing that. You didn't?
No.
Really?
No, I tell people all the
You
time.
stressed out over it? I would have had
Oh
it.
my
If I were
God.
you, I would have loved it.
I use that as my mission statement for people who are unsure about getting a coordinator for their event. I
wish you had one.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
You wish you had a you that wasn't you.
Yes.
To help you out.
Oh, 100%.
That's a hell of a testimonial.
Yep.
Someone to use your services.
The best part about my day was marrying my husband, and that was literally it. My husband had a great day. I did not. So I use that as a fuel for me to do what I do every day. But, and then I left there. I started working for a wedding venue locally here. I started just working with them for the season, and I can't go too much into it because the person knows who I am and they follow me, but it was a really hard situation. So I eventually left there. I actually, working there pretty much ruined the industry for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you thinking about just stepping out?
I did step
at that
out.
point? Oh, you did? Okay.
I did a couple here and there after I stepped away from the industry, but I started working for a pharmacy and then eventually got picked up by a pharmaceutical company, and I switched.
That's a 180.
Complete 180. And so then in February of 2020, I literally told Nate, my husband, I said, dude, I just want to do this again. I want to try again. I want to go back into the industry full time. I want to do this.
What inspired you to have that change of heart?
To be fair with you, I had like an epiphany that I just wasn't as content in my life as it was. I loved my job. I to this day, I will say that was the best last full-time job I ever had. But it wasn't what I was like enjoyed doing. So I decided to move on. And February, 2020, I was going to move on. I was going to do this. And then COVID.
COVID was just the magical, I'm going to shit on you experience, I think, in everyone's life.
It was. And I tell you, I had the biggest God moment because all of my friends in the industry lost their jobs.
Oh, I believe it.
They lost their everything. They went
Ironically,
bankrupt.
we had a wedding venue client we worked with 9 months like during that process, which was really interesting in hindsight.
Yes. So like you said, in hindsight, I was working for a pharmaceutical company and I kept my job the entire time. And all of my industry friends had lost theirs.
Oh, yeah, there was no security at that point because it was unheard of. It was unprecedented.
I felt like that was God saying, Aaliyah, not yet. Not yet. So I continued working in the job that I did for a whole nother year and a half after that. But then in July of 2021, I said, no, this is it. Because the wedding industry was ramping back up. There were so many weddings, too many weddings. I was like, no, this, if I do it now, this is the only time I could do this and do it well. So in July of 2021, I spent an entire month getting my LLC, getting my website, rebranded name, everything. And within the first month, I'd gotten 9 weddings. And then by April of 2022, I'd gotten 62.
That's impressive.
Yes.
And I got to ask, just for people out there, even if they're not in the wedding business, it's just like be able to secure that number of customers or clients.
Yeah.
It's very impressive, Leah.
It's hard.
What did you attribute to that?
I think what I attributed to that was I wasn't just a wedding planner. I was their wedding best friend. I was someone that and even now my clients feel the exact same way. They can text me if they have questions. They can text me with family issues, like, how would you solve this? Like, I'm having this family member causing problems. Like, how would you fix this? Or XYZ. But I find the reason that we stood out was because of that one-stop shop experience. So what I believe helps what was Your Perfect Day and now Perfection Bridal stand out from all of the other planning services here in the region is that we provide a one-stop shop planning experience to our clients, but it's completely a la carte. There is no pressure from us to do anything but the planning contract that you've signed.
So it's almost kind of like a concierge service. Like, here's your menu, a la carte. You can get this in terms of a planning dynamic. You can add on this in terms of a floral arrangement. On this, using hypotheticals, like examples.
Yes. Exactly.
And you're just selling that value, selling that service.
Yes. And 9 times out of 10, they will work with us with pretty much all of what we have because they love having that type of value and service. One-stop shop, one vendor to take care of it. But others, some people don't, and that's totally fine.
It's interesting in the way where everyone kind of goes all in, even if you give them the option from a psychology standpoint.
You're so right. And it's being an honest salesperson as well. It's not me trying to like, oh, the minimum you have to spend with me is $10,000. I could never in good conscience do that to a client. So when they come with us, they know that it's 100% a la carte. And because they know that they're not going to be pressured to get a sale point, they still go with us for more reasons than just that. Mm-hmm. So that helps us stand out from just being a planning service. There's so much more involved, and it's done. And it was called Your Perfect Day and Perfection Bridal. I believe in excellence. I don't believe in perfection. So it's really funny that my name has the word perfect in it. You can strive for excellence, but you will never reach perfection.
But you want perfection, hypothetically, if I'm a bride or groom.
Yeah.
Your services. And like, I'm sure I can just knowing a little bit about you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you in that process, like, hey, I'm here because like, we're going to make it as perfect as possible because things come up.
Yeah, we teach them that we prepare for the worst but hope for the best.
Good.
Yeah, and there's actually the reason that Your Perfect Day, now Perfection Bridal was named as it was is there's a Bible verse in Scripture that says, you are made in God's perfect image, but you yourself are not perfect. Mm-hmm. So that's where I educate clients about that in their own way. Like, don't ever strive for the perfect wedding. Strive for an excellent one, and you'll be much happier in the long run. So that's kind of that mentality. So that's how I got started with it. I really have enjoyed the last couple of years, and now we've gone above and beyond to make that one-stop shop even more clean cut and being able to help people have a structured curriculum throughout the entire year they work with us.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. For an entire 12 months, you have a structured plan of action already built from day one.
What inspired that curriculum aspect? 'Cause that's so fascinating to me.
Can I tell you? Yeah. You're gonna laugh, Paul.
Yeah.
I have ADHD.
Well, I probably do too. My preschool teacher literally wrote a note to my mother. Preschool.
Yeah.
Leah, your son has a lot of energy. He should be on Ritalin. And then I was like on the progress report, and my mom was kind of like, "Did we pull him out of this like preschool or like? Does he really that bad?" Never got medicated.
Yeah. Gonna be honestly,
I think it's a superpower.
I created the curriculum because I need to keep myself on track.
It's great.
Yeah, and it helps the fact that it keeps my clients on track too. Again, it's that line of perfection kind of thing, you know. So I knew myself, I was not perfect. So let's find strategy and a way moving forward that can help me perfect the system as best as I possibly can by keeping me in line and keeping me moving forward in a regulated, structured way. So that's why the curriculum was created.
It's really funny where we're having this conversation, I'm actively pivoting our core services now, where if you come in to work with us, unless it's a total custom engagement, almost everyone's going to go through the same 90-day process.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, the only thing that's going to be different, your goals, your budgets, and then really what we're looking at the end of the day and targeting. Yeah. Other than that, everyone's going to go through the same 90-day process unless you insist you have a total custom project, and then you're going to pay out the wazoo for consulting.
Because you're
for us to try to
going around the 90-day project. Yeah.
So it's really fascinating in that regard, where one, it keeps you organized as the owner, but even it's a win-win for your brides and grooms, because it's like they're more organized, and then they're getting a consistent delivery from you. Even
they work with a person that has ADHD. They work with a person that needs that kind of structure in their life. Not everyone has ADHD. So if I have this pure structure kind of thing, it reaches to the mindset of pretty much every client, but it's still customizable. Day one, we sit down and we talk about their whole process, procedures, and what they really want to see out of their package with us. And we will literally map out the entire journey month for month for the entire year. And they know what's coming up. Yeah, they know what's coming up.
I have not heard of any local or even regional planner of your caliber doing that.
Yeah. So
that's a huge selling point.
Yeah, and I'm currently finishing up my book. So
yeah,
so it's so many things, but because my lawyer told me to write it down. So so I've been writing my curriculum down. So it's in an actual textbook. So then that way, moving forward, if someone consults with us and say they just can't afford the rates that we are giving them, which is totally fine, we want to be able to, we can reach as many people as possible in every price point. Here's a textbook for say $200, and it has read a chapter once a month, and that's what you do, and that guides you through the planning journey. But
that's really cool.
But
you're taking that route.
Yeah, it takes discipline though. You have to actually read it. So,
reading? Who does that?
Listen, if someone like me can write it and it actually makes sense to me, it should make sense to everybody. So
I recently completed 75 Hard, which you had to read.
Why is everyone doing that? Everyone is doing that.
I did a modified version. My diet was not drinking. I stuck to that. Now, hey, cheers.
Cheers.
But my gosh. Part of that you had to read every day, and I hadn't read that much, I think, in years, Leo, because it's read 10 pages every day. Some days I read more, but I think I read about 4 books in 75 days.
It's like mind health, not just body health.
It really was a world of difference. I should probably do some more reading now, because I
probably do that.
I probably haven't read since I completed it. Great. It's just a little pat on my back kind of thing. But
I'm a whole bookworm. I'm reading almost every day. It's just but again, everyone's different.
What's your favorite book?
Oh, right now I'm on the Bridgertons. I'm on Bridgerton. So
they have a Netflix series based off that.
100%.
Correct? Okay.
Yeah, and I don't mean to make a plug, but season 3 is coming out on March 16th. So I'm so excited. But anyways, onward and forward. But yeah, we've got a lot of big projects coming up over the next year. We have our show coming up that we're filming in June. So really, really excited to be chosen out of 200,000 applicants for that season. And
can you give a little bit more context of what it is for people out there?
Yeah, so the show
is exciting what you shared with me off camera about it.
Yeah, it's called The Blocks. So they're on season 8, so they're casting for season 8. And what The Blocks is, it's a reality TV show competition with entrepreneurs, and it's entrepreneurs in so many different backgrounds and facets and industries. So it's not just me going and competing with a bunch of wedding planners. It's a bunch of other people.
It's business owners.
It's business owners, people who do even people who may not be established business owners, but want to be and have a concept they're ready to establish. So there's a bunch of different people who are going to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa's just a random location.
Well, that was their location during COVID. So
interesting, or they just kind of kept it since.
Yeah, they decided that the other initial location wasn't working for them, and they really liked Tulsa. So it's June 25th, July 1st. We're doing the filming, and it's literally 9 to 11 every single day. You answer your emails, do business that you have to do, and then from 11 to 11 you are filming. So really, really excited to do this. I was told I'm their first wedding planner ever. They've never had a wedding planner.
Cool.
Yeah. Out of 100 people per season, this is their 8th season. So they've never had a planner before. And I'm taking my sister Liz with me, and we're so excited because we feel like that the phrase double trouble is that's a big thing. Like
They're twins for everyone listening or watching out there.
Yeah.
You will get confused if you just meet them.
And that's okay.
They do trick people from time to time.
It's okay. We like doing that. But yeah, so I'm taking Twin with me, and we have a big project that we're gonna pitch, and we're working with a bunch of awesome people and looking at investors and stuff. But it's like a multi-million-dollar concept, and it's never been done before. And I'm so excited to pitch this on the blocks and hopefully win. So that
sounds exciting. So you're shooting in June. When would that air tentatively?
I don't know. I'm assuming the fall. So it's going to be on.
Would make sense, which is how TV goes.
Yeah. So I'm assuming the fall. It's on Amazon Prime. Facebook Live is going to be doing stuff throughout the entire like shooting of the season.
Production.
Yeah. So you will be able to actually see that stuff airing like during while we're doing it, but then the actual like done season will be aired on Amazon Prime. Yeah. So, and potentially other networks too. Apparently they're getting so big with their TV show now that like there's potential of actually live media like on air. So, I've been spending the last like 6 months of my life since getting that word thinking like, wow, would this be like the last couple of months of my life or cause who knows like what could happen from it. Like,
so I have to ask you, it might be a loaded question, but what are you open to in terms of like success? Like I find it really fascinating because I feel like if you're an entrepreneur, like yourself, who I know is very ambitious and very like we're going to do this and like impact people. Yeah. There comes a moment where it's almost like an exponential leap where like, wow, like I did all this and I didn't expect this kind of recognition or this opportunity. And it takes you to another, level. So it's really, where do you want to go? Like if you have like some kind of great opportunity coming from this in terms of the exposure and.
That's a great question.
That's why I said it was loaded.
Loaded.
Like, really in another way, it's like, I actually spoke with another entrepreneur the other week recording one of these. It's like entrepreneurship is designing your own life.
Yeah.
To how you want it. So it's really, where do you want to take that opportunity from this to go?
Yeah, I would love, I think ever since I was like 18, I have had people tell me that like, why aren't you guys doing a reality show? Like, why aren't you guys on TV? Like, why haven't you been doing this? And then recently, not that I don't love weddings, I think weddings are the most beautiful day. And the fact that I create such a friendship with my couples, it's so different from any other planner. I'm so grateful for what I do. But with this opportunity, I'm thinking like, okay, like if Lizzie and I go on this and we have a chance of doing a caliber show or get discovered like the Property Brothers, and do a reality TV show that's not like a negative one. I would love to do one that's a positive kind of like entrepreneurship based kind of show that really brings to light the hardships of entrepreneurship and the hardships of even this industry that I'm in. If we got discovered, and I hate saying that with like quotes, like I don't know what to think about it yet. I think I've been doing a lot of prayer about it in the last 6 months when I got the news that we got casted. I said, okay, like in reality, like what happens if this happens? And I said, as long as you do things out of kindness and generosity, then you do it in the right way. That's what I've been telling myself. That's our mission statement, actually. So that's literally what I've been telling stuff. As long as you do things out of kindness and generosity, then you do it in the right way. So,
and I think that's the right way to live.
Yeah.
Personally, it's just you lead in with that, even when sometimes you're challenged and it proves difficult.
Yeah.
It's just being patient and leading that way versus like, oh, I don't have to do that.
Yeah. Like, so if we find that fame from the whole thing and like Liz and I get discovered and someone wants to use us, that's great and all, but like I won't go against my better judgment and character to make myself be like the Kardashians, right? And be in this false kind of mentality. I would never. People would be like, Leah, like if I ever did that.
She's from York.
I'm serious, Paul. Like if I could bring like stuff and coverage back to this city, I would be so blessed. I would be so happy to know that like myself and my existence brought more energy and life back to this city because
I love this little town.
I do too.
And this little county. I tell folks like I want to be a snowbird by 35. Like live somewhere 2-3 months out of the year, just travel like consistently.
Yeah.
I would always live here though. Just because it's just, even last night, we ran into each other at a networking event and you're meeting other people. It's just something about some of these small town interactions that you don't get really anywhere else.
I've met the best friends here. So I love knowing that this could potentially bring a better light to this town. So, and people are like, oh, what about you? No. So that loaded question you just gave me, right? Like I could be all selfish and say like, oh wow, this is gonna really like take my career to another level. Oh, like this and that. But in perspective, I'm really seeing the broader picture of like what this could really do for my community, and that's where I'm like, that's what I want. So that's kind of where I see myself. Like if it happens, great. If not, I still got on a TV show and started talking about my city, and any plug I can give this place.
It's once in a lifetime. You're gonna have fucking fun.
I'm so excited.
I'm being blunt, but like it's
I'm so excited.
It's life's too short. It's like, why not?
Yes.
You know, why not? You know, even if it's a little flash in the pan, you did it.
I did. And yeah, so a little tip to anybody who's out there who wants to do that. What I did is I got joined a online website called the Casting Networks. And it's like $25 a month to be a part of it, but I have a portfolio, I have model reels, like videos and things like that. And I send it out to a bunch of like, there's like Netflix feature films that go on there. And I've seen at least 3 in the last week that are casting right now. And you send that out. I've done like 4 or 5 auditions, and one of them was The Blocks, and I got it. So $25 a month could literally change my life. So if someone's looking to take their career to another level and they want to become discovered, I highly suggest doing that. It may not. Here's my thing. You get as much as you put into it.
That's with anything.
Yeah. So if you're just paying $25 a month to just look at the different casting calls and not submitting anything, that's on you. It's literally on you.
At that point, it's just an expense on the credit card, debit card.
Exactly.
Bill.
So you just got to just jump at it. So I wanted to point that out because I've been getting a lot of questions of like how I did it, and that's how I did it.
So you essentially reimagine or restart this business during COVID.
Yeah.
You're here now where you have all these opportunities. You're positioning the brand to be more than just a wedding planner, quote unquote. Really full service.
Yes.
Multiple layers.
Yeah.
How does it feel being a woman business owner, able to achieve
Would
this?
jump on that question, Paul.
No. You wanted to talk about it. Hey, we have an intake form here, ladies and gentlemen, and she wanted to talk about being a woman in business, women in business. So I had to touch on it.
Okay.
It seems like it could have been stock. It wasn't.
No, So I think the hardest part for me, and I'll kind of share with you, when I first rebranded, launched, and then opened up my second business, Perfect Stems. That's just a flower shop here in New York. I tried to get funding and money because like just the equipment alone was $5,000. Just one fridge was $5,000. And you can't be a flower shop without a freaking fridge. So
otherwise, like
your flowers die.
Yeah.
And there's your live inventory dead. Yeah. So I went to bank after bank after bank trying to find anything, someone to give me money.
Yeah.
Even $10,000 I couldn't get approved.
That's crazy.
I know. And I had seen a revenue of $250,000 in my first full year. That gross profit, and I think my revenue was like 100,000. So like, you know, like come on,
that's kind of wild. From
they
a
wouldn't approve
$10,000
because I wasn't an established business.
To the books, yes.
So and
that would make sense then.
I will call out the one bank that it was local. I'm more than happy to call them
out
because I've called them out to their faces and I have not received anything back from them. Members First was one. And
credit union.
Yeah. So I have my car through them, and I have some wonderful, wonderful friends that are a part of that. And I love that they have a passion for it. But when you have a woman in business who's really struggling to make ends meet with this new concept and has proven herself in other facets and other places, and I'm begging for help, and they didn't bother to ask me.
And you're trying to play by the rules where you're showing this, I'm showing that. What can I get?
Yeah, and
that's a big struggle for business owners.
It is, and I even tried to get a $5,000 loan, and they wouldn't approve me.
I have done some wild things to raise money in the past, not for this business, but a former business of mine.
Yeah,
we funded a trade show by literally leveraging like a multi-level marketing company.
Yeah,
we took from that it was like a side hustle. Funded our first trade show while we were just getting our business off the ground, me and my former business partner.
It's a lot.
Well, it seemed insane, looking back on it, where it's like you're just doing all these little side hustles just to fund your main thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I then went past Members First. I tried PNC. They wouldn't even approve. They wouldn't even give me. They laughed at me at the meeting. So then
really,
they did. And
I'm not a banker, but if your books are clean,
Yeah.
and I know that the only risk to me is like your new business, regardless of how well you are on the books.
Yeah, I was literally 6 months. They consider established business 2 years.
Yes.
I was a year and a half.
And I get it because there's risk. But like, if your books are that clean, to me, it's just like, come on.
Yep. I was willing to move all of my business banking and all of my personal banking to that establishment. So that was a part of the trade-off. So they wouldn't do that. I actually left PNC because of that.
People wondering why banking's dying. Like these banks are just getting eaten up by bigger banks because
Do you want to know who gave me the shot?
probably bigger bank.
No, actually.
Really? Who was it?
Traditions.
Really?
Traditions Bank, yeah.
And they're like super local for those who are unfamiliar with Traditions.
Yep, Traditions Bank. I had a bunch of connections because of YYP with Traditions, and
That's great.
I'd done some work with them through YCP when I was there at school, and so I reached out to them. I said, "Listen, I really need help," and they went above and beyond. Paul, they got me a $35,000 loan.
That's kind of crazy that the fact that other banks wouldn't provide anything comparable.
Yes, they got me a 35. Now I had to do some stuff on the back end to make it possible.
Yeah.
But I still haven't used the full thing. But the fact is that a local bank who has a side hustle on the side, like a side business with Traditions called Her Traditions, and they support women owners through funding and things like that. And they took a shot on me. I will sing their praises all day long, friends. But so that just, first of all, proves that hardship. Because if it was a man, I hate to say it, if a man had walked into Members First and showed 250, I hate to say it, Paul, I hate to say it. If a man had walked in there, they may have taken him a little bit more seriously.
Oh, I get that. I'll play devil's advocate.
Yes.
One thing I can't do in my position, nor I don't need to,
Yeah.
but like I feel for some of my clients, and I'll just gonna mention it up. It was like the York County Economic Alliance and mentioned something about grants for like,
Yes.
business owners. I'm like, that's great. Women-owned, minority-only. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
great. I know these communities typically do have their challenges.
Yes.
But where's really the equal playing field at this point?
Agreed.
Because to be honest with you, there are so many institutions where it's minorities only or
Yeah.
women only. It's like at some point, it's just like you're leaving like the white dude who has 3 kids trying
Yeah.
to grow something. Similar to you, how you're trying to grow your business. They have no help.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, and I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
The perception of being taken more seriously if you're a man with your shit together.
Oh, yeah.
It's not right,
Yeah.
but like it's very true, especially when you're dealing with older men.
Well, let's talk
in
about older
industries.
men, shall we?
Let's talk about creepers. I'm kidding.
No. I mean, I'm so serious. So, like, when I go out and you see me at networking events
You
before.
are polished.
Yeah, like I not to like toot my own horn, but like I'm like trying my best to really like I am the perception. I'm the vision for my company. People look at me, they see my company. So I'll go out to these networking events with older gentlemen there, and I will talk with them for like 15 minutes and tell them who I am, what I do, not mentioning anything else except for what I want them to hear. First question out of their mouth, what do you think it is?
Are you seeing anybody?
No.
Or are you married?
No.
Well, when we had the wedding.
How old are you?
Oh, that's even better. That I made a Facebook post about just this the other day. We're ADHD's kicking in.
Yep.
But it's about 2 years ago, or 2021. I made a post and I just reshared it. I think one of the most head trash things entrepreneurs get, and this relates to age.
Yes.
Because I'm 30, and it's like I've got a lot of folks where they're like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't have the experience. You're a kid.
Yeah.
I have a lot to learn, but it's just like, it's funny how people like to gatekeep.
Yeah.
What's your age?
Well, so when I have that full conversation with them, they're like, "There's no way this person who looks as young as she has succeeded as much as she has."
Oh, they think it's a joke, or it's like a fantasy, like you're just talking something up.
Do you want to know how I can confront that question? I have two.
Please tell me.
I have 2
So
ways.
I would love to hear it.
I have 2 ways that I confront that question. First is, how old do you think I am?
I have used that before, and I make it a joke. I'm like, I look 40 with my hairline. Like I always joke with folks. Like I'm 30 going on 40.
Yep.
Boomers love that shit.
Yep. And then the second way I ask it is, did you intend to ask that question to me?
Mm-hmm.
Or
then probably makes them think.
Did you actually ask me that question, or did you mean to ask me that question? And that throws them for a loop.
Oh, that's so good.
You just put them in their place.
I never even think about that. That's a good one.
Yeah, you put them in their place. And I've used that line a couple of times, and immediately they're apologizing, like, I'm so sorry, like I didn't mean for you to take offense to that. I'm like, and other ones are like, I've had one person say, wow, you're such a baby. And I'm like, wow, you're a fucking dinosaur.
I might pilfer that one if you don't mind. That is fucking good.
So if you want me to insult you like you just insulted me, you better be able to take what I dish out. So for me as a women business owner, not only am I getting sexism quite often, and people are like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, I don't know how y'all do with that. That is not cool.
Yeah, like
I hear horror stories.
Yeah, mostly I hate to say this, but like I get it from like big business owners, but also DJs. I get a lot of sexism from DJs, male DJs. I get a lot of ageism from any vendor.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're immediately looking at me and saying, "Oh, like do I look like I'm not almost 30? Like what the actual heck? Like what was it? The moisturizer? Because I can stop that in age real fast."
Well, Leah, I potentially like my LinkedIn. It doesn't say when I graduated college.
Oh, that's real smart.
I do it. It's almost like I just turned 30, and like I mentioned, like people were like, "Oh, happy 30th birthday!" Da da da. Like people really know me. I just mentioned like, and people were like, "You're 30?"
Yeah.
And it got awkward when they looked at me like, "Wait, I thought he was closer to like my age, like mid 30s or like almost 40." Like it was almost like they're rethinking like.
I feel like that just takes your importance and your professionalism and just tanks it when people see your age. They immediately just think you're a child.
It's an assumption, unfortunately.
Yeah, so.
And it's not justified, but I love it, and I'm sure you can attest to this. 9 times out of 10, you prove those motherfuckers wrong. I'm going to be blunt when I say that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like people think, oh, no, they're just a kid.
Well, I will tell you what I told you earlier with the whole block situation. I had someone who I met at a networking event, and they wanted to sit down and have a conversation about investing, and I told them how much I'm financially making, and she's like, well, that doesn't fit with how much we do business with. So unfortunately, we can't help you. And then as soon as the blocks was announced, and as soon as I feel like that happens, this person now was reaching out to me more. Why?
Oh, yeah, because it's like they want something now.
Yeah, because, you know, it's so stupid. And I told her this when she called me a little after that meeting a couple of days later and said, sorry, we can't help you. I told her, don't bother coming back. Like, do not come back. And I don't want to work with you. Like, I'm sorry, but you're going to regret it. And I hope you realize that. Look at ring camera.
That is powerful. Isn't that liberating?
Yeah.
To say something like that and you mean it. It's not. It's not even from a position of arrogance.
Yes.
Because it's factual.
Yes.
That's where I think it's like real power.
Also believing in yourself.
100%.
That's your own confidence in yourself, is you believe that if you can do it, you will do it. So for someone to tell you and try to downgrade your confidence in your own skill level, and every sleepless night you've ever had, every tear you've cried with everything that you've been through, to try to tell you that you're not worth it, is so wrong. And on so many levels and perspectives. So if there's anybody out there who is really thinking that they want to have a shot and a chance, you are the only person that can give it to you.
I was going to ask a question to lead this off, because Marty's signaling for last call over there. That's a perfect note to end on, other than any final comments you might want to share, Leah. I actually had a lot of fun today.
Yeah, me too. And then thank you for the drink, obviously.
I want to have another one off camera after this. It's my Friday.
So I would probably say that anybody who's looking to become an entrepreneur in a certain business, if you don't have the education behind it, start working on the education.
Yep.
If someone wants to get into the wedding planning business, they need to do the dirty work. You need to go work for a catering company for a season. That's going to be the best way for you to learn. I think
everyone should have a service-based job. Catering, Agreed. Restaurant, bar, otherwise.
It'll give you a sense of humbleness.
At least for 6 months of your life.
Yes. And then that means picking up the bag of trash, cleaning off a table. Like I hate saying it,
people
do the
being
dirty
rude
work.
to you.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. So
get familiar with it.
Yep. I see all these young planners out there that have never touched a dish their entire life.
They ain't gonna make
or
it.
Or bust, and they say, I'm a wedding planner. I'm like, no, you're not. Like you're not yet, and that's okay. So here's some advice for you to get to being the best planner that you can be. You need to respect every single vendor that walks through that door. Now, obviously, like I mentioned, the whole DJ situation, if there's someone that walks in and tries to make you feel less than what you are, you rise above it always, but you should always try to make yourself a better person. So at the end of the day, if you're trying to get into this wedding planning industry, you have to do the dirty work. You've got to spend some time learning about the industry. I spent a lot of time doing the research and blogging about it before I even jumped into doing it. You need to do the learning.
You got to be obsessed with it almost, I would say, at least from my point of view.
Yep.
With whatever you're passionate about.
And don't just quit your job. Don't just quit your job.
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
I was fucking crazy and like.
I was too.
But just take it from us. The launching pad, at some point you do have to fly the nest, but
Yeah.
you got to learn to fly a little bit before you jump.
Yes, exactly. So
Not to cut you off, I just had to add that
no,
in
no,
there.
no, because you've seen it too, Paul. Like you went through that moment where you're like, okay, like am I actually? It's the scariest moment of your life.
It's like blind faith because people think you're crazy almost.
Oh yeah, they're
Some
like,
people.
what are you doing? And that's so. If you're going to do this, you should at least have a part-time job to supplement. I spent 6 months in my full-time job doing this full-time, so I was working 2 full-time jobs doing this before I put my 2 weeks in, and then even then I started working a part-time job. So I made sure that I was slowly dwindling down any 100% I'm getting income and making sure that I was okay with that. So just make sure that you're ready. Make sure you have all the legality stuff. Get a good lawyer. Get a good accountant. Like learn.
You know these people.
Yeah.
Even if you don't need them, know them.
Yep.
Before you need to use them.
Exactly. So
Underrated advice.
yeah. So I just you need to make sure that you know what you're doing before and get a business mentor of some kind. I have a business mentor.
I have a couple.
Yeah.
And their perspectives have been worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, and the ones that actually like believe in you, not the ones that are thinking like high and mighty with themselves. No. Like humble bumble. Like find somebody who is just a humble person, a good genuine person. For me, a good Christian person who takes the same values as well and wants to be able to take that in there. Even if you're not a Christian yourself, I find that if you find a good person,
Correct, because that's to me a Christian discipline. I'm not like an active like Christian, but like I'm big proponent of the values.
As long as you're a good person, that's the
Because
same
that's how
thing.
God would want.
Yep, that's why our mission statement is what it is. So, so yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No, when I told you a couple weeks back, you're like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah,
This was fun.
yeah, it was definitely fun. I can't wait to hopefully come back and give you an update on the blocks and all of the stuff happening.
To me, I'm already back in my mind. You're welcome back.
Cool, done, sold.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Check Leah out if you need to get married.
Yeah, seriously.